So I missed part of Jackie's live stream due to internet issues, so hopefully I won't repeat too much of what she said, but I think I saw that she covered CEDAW briefly, and the aims of the People's Tribunal, but I'll also give a brief overview of those as well. So we were absolutely delighted the other day to announce the establishment of a CEDAW People's Tribunal. So CEDAW stands for the Convention for the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. So it's a really overarching convention that covers so many different aspects of women's lives, from education to political participation, employment, social and economic rights. So it really covers a broad spectrum, and it also covers all women, so women of all ages, also covers girls, covers women of all ages, sexualities, lesbian, bisexual, people from different ethnicities and races. So it's a really all-encompassing convention that means that if you're a woman, it doesn't matter what your background is, your rights are protected, and the government has a duty to uphold in terms of eliminating discriminatory laws and policies and proactively pushing for gender equality as a core duty that they have to this convention. I think Jackie probably went over some of this as well, but it was created in 1979 and the UK signed it in 1986. So it's been 40 years that we've had this convention in place, and it still hasn't been properly transposed into domestic law. So the key problem is the fact that or the key direction that we're going in is basically to hold the government to account on this promise. Effectively, this convention is a promise from the UK government to uphold CEDAW principles. It's a promise to do everything it can to eliminate discrimination and promote gender equality. And we are pushing to hold the government to account on this promise through a People's Tribunal. So we've established a steering committee chaired by Dr. Davina Lloyd, and we've established a legal team, an advocacy group that will be arguing on the side pushing for CEDAW to be properly transposed into domestic law, and for the UK to have a representative to CEDAW as it's supposed to have. And that is made up of, okay, I've lost video, but I will carry on talking just in case it's still going. And that will be, the legal team is comprised of John Cooper QC, who has previous experience working in People's Tribunals and is a Human Rights and Criminal Queen's Counsel, and will also be comprised of Professor Jackie Jones, who was speaking earlier, who is a fantastic expert on CEDAW and has an enormous wealth of experience and knowledge on this, and myself as well. So we will be collecting evidence and presenting an argument, and that will be deliberated by an independent panel of judges. So why this is important is because we've waited 40 years for CEDAW to be implemented. The UK is still lagging behind really seriously in some important aspects of gender equality, and it's time to use the tools that we have, use the convention that has already been agreed by the government to push for better progress and also to address the current discriminatory laws that we have. There is a key problem of policies presenting themselves like they work for everyone when policies do affect people differently. Transposing CEDAW into domestic law would facilitate making law accessible and have equal benefits to people from different backgrounds, particularly for women. And that's really important to make sure that we don't have, and I've spoken on this previously, gender-blind policies, where policies and laws assume that they have equal effects on men and women when they actually disadvantage women. And you can see that in the outcome of austerity, in the outcome of the COVID-19 pandemic, and it's important that we have a solid foundation where the expectation and the standard is that laws protect people equally and in the best interests of people equally. So CEDAW is a really, really powerful tool that hasn't been properly implemented, that isn't being used to the full extent and to the extent to which the government has committed to. And the People's Tribunal is basically collecting a large body of expertise and evidence and putting the case to the government and pushing for the full transposition of CEDAW into domestic law and for a representative. So we're really excited to be working on this, really excited to be making some of the first steps, establishing the People's Tribunal, and start on the really important work of collecting evidence and making this case, which we expect will have a really positive impact on things overall, and will hopefully have a really concrete impact on women's lives and on women's empowerment. So we're really excited to announce this. I'd also, before I sign out, because I think I'm just about up, a really, really big congratulations to Back to 60 and all of its supporters, all of the women working on this. In terms of the judicial review, I have all of my fingers and toes crossed for Tuesday and Wednesday, and really, really hope that it goes well and that justice is done and that this is seriously and positively addressed. So we have a lot to look forward to, and we are only just getting started on some really big things. So I think that it's moving in a really positive direction, and I'm sending lots of hope and good wishes, and send all my best for this week coming. So it's been lovely speaking to you. Sorry, I think I've lost it, so I'm just speaking to a black screen at the moment, but hopefully this has all gone through. And it was a pleasure seeing you all, and all the best and good luck for this week coming.